This episode of Falmouth in Focus is brought to you by the following corporate underwriter.
John's Liquors, 729 Main Street, Falmouth, 508-548-2287.
On this edition of Falmouth in Focus, starting young with public safety as law enforcement helps local youths learn and lead. Saying bye-bye to Bubba as the NOAA Woods Hole Aquarium gets set to close for repairs. And a taste of local excellence as a few of our hometown chefs are inducted into the elite society of French cuisine. That's all ahead on Falmouth in Focus, and it starts right now. Hello and welcome to Falmouth in Focus. I'm Michael Kasparian.
And I'm Eileen Preston. Over the school's February vacation, the Barnstable County Sheriff's Department initiated a new program for our youth on Cape Cod, the Youth Public Safety Explorers Program. Middle school students had the chance to take a sneak peek at the various fields of public safety while learning leadership skills through interactive activities.
I'm Casey Myers. I'm the Director of Communication for the Barnstable County Sheriff's Office.
My name is Jason Molino. I'm the Assistant Director for the Barnstable County Sheriff's Office Bureau of Criminal Investigation.
Public Safety Explorers Program. It's for 10 to 14-year-old, middle to high school kids, depending where they are. And it is an introduction to the different public safety fields that they are already expressed an interest in. So every day they have a bunch of activities. So it's kind of a mix of everything. One day they toured the Barnstable Police Station and then the Hyannis Fire Department. Another day they did a tour and got a history lesson from a Barnstable Superior Court judge, and they got to see the beautiful Barnstable Superior Court in the village. And then they went to the Barnstable County Sheriff's Office Regional Emergency Communication Center, where we have dispatchers who answer emergency calls from many fire departments and towns on the Cape.
I think it's a great program because it's kids that are interested in the law enforcement avenue, and today there's so many different roads you can go down. It's not just police or not police, it's police departments, sheriff's offices, state police, federal agencies, and then within that, it's even, traffic unit to accident reconstruction to crime scene to detectives. There's just so many roads to go down. Giving kids a little idea of each thing, I think, will help them narrow it down so they can sort of focus in on what they really like to do. Our unit is primarily the crime scene arm of the Sheriff's Office, so we assist all the fire police departments on Cape Cod that request our services for sort of technical assistance at crime scenes, be it documentation, evidence collection, or processing. So it was just sort of an overall introduction of our unit and what we do, and then we gave them a little example of what we do as far as looking for fingerprints, explaining the reasons for fingerprints, why we look for them, why they're there, why we have them, their uniqueness in terms of the pattern that they are, what we do with them when we get them, and how we may identify a victim or a bad guy through searching.
Then they do a fun activity because it is school vacation. So yesterday they went bowling, and you're here right now in the Hyannis Youth and Community Center where they have their kind of like main classroom, and they're going to be doing a team building activity next, and then they're going to have some fun in the rec room, which is here, that has a bunch of games and stuff like that. And the point is, along with teaching them about public safety, they also learn leadership skills, because these kids also seem to have that potential for leadership.
The Barnstable County Sheriff's Office will be hosting a Spring Youth Public Safety Program this month at the Hyannis Youth and Community Center. For more information, visit the Barnstable County Sheriff's Office's website.
All April, Falmouth Public Library will be hosting an exhibit, Fire and Thunder. It tells a story of how Black people in Massachusetts fought in defense of human dignity and freedom, not just on the battlefield, but also via the press, on the streets, from the pulpit, and behind the lecture podium.
Fire and Thunder is about Black soldiers from Massachusetts and their fight in the Civil War. And it's an amazing thing to be able to bring an exhibit directly to our town and be able to offer it for viewing for free during our library hours for the whole month of April. It actually honestly came about because I run the narrative nonfiction book club here at the library. And in April, we're going to be reading the book, The Demon of Unrest by Eric Larson. And it's about the time between Lincoln's election and the bombing of Fort Sumter. So as I was putting this together, I was thinking how great it would be, since it's been 160 years since the Civil War ended, and it started and ended in April, if we could do programming based around that. And through some research, I found through the Commonwealth Museum that we are able to borrow a traveling exhibit from them called Fire and Thunder. With an exhibit like this, Fire and Thunder is a 16-panel exhibit, and typically I find that you kind of have to go into a city to see an exhibit like that. It's kind of an overlooked part, I feel, of the Civil War, and so to be able to bring it directly to Falmouth and for people not to have to travel far to go see something, I think is a great thing to offer to the public.
The library plans other Civil War programming to coincide with the Fire and Thunder panel exhibit. Visit falmouthpubliclibrary.org for more information.
The weather's warming, the buds are breaking, and FCTV member organization Farming Falmouth is getting ready for a busy growing season. This spring brings new milestones in the group's push to acquire a 6-acre farm property here in town. And a service garden that gets fresh produce to local families is getting bigger. And now we have a special guest. We have Ellie Costa with us, who's the president of Farming Falmouth, and she's going to talk to us about all things that are growing. Ellie, nice to see you.
Very nice to see you, Eileen and Michael.
Hello, Ellie. Nice to see you always.
So very interested in your news. What are you cooking over there?
We are at a very exciting moment. We are entering the home stretch, the last phase of a campaign that just began last August to purchase and preserve a 6-acre farm, a beautiful 6-acre farm here in Falmouth, one of the last parcels remaining. We started in August, and we have been able to raise $670,522. Part of that is building on a Massachusetts Conservation Partnership grant, and the rest is donations from supporters who are coming out in Falmouth, foundations and individuals, to support the preservation of farmland. Our next big milestone is on April 7th, town meeting. The Community Preservation Committee has recommended that the town purchase the conservation restriction on this farm. And that will be co-held by the 300 Committee and the Agricultural Commission. So we're going to the precinct meetings this week and entertaining questions, and are very excited about that gathering town meeting on April 7th. The 300 Committee has pledged $50,000 in support of the preservation of this farm. So they are willing to match donations from our citizens up to $50,000. And we consider that such a show of support by an organization for whom we have so much respect, that it's been a really exciting and touching and meaningful moment for us. So matching donations.
Congratulations.
It's amazing.
Fantastic. Congratulations. And what about your service garden?
Oh, the service garden. This is an exciting project. It's 2 years old. We started it's on Tony Andrews' farm through the generosity of Jeff Andrews, who gives us a 1/4 acre there where we can grow for donation to our local food pantries. It's last year, Jenny Christian, our farming manager, led 40 volunteers through the summer, and they were able to produce 5,000 pounds of food, fresh, organic produce, on this 1/4 acre. And all of that was donated to the Falmouth Service Center and to the Cape and Islands Veterans Outreach Centers. We're excited to expand that this year from 5,000 pounds. Our goal this year is 6,500. And the new wrinkle is that this garden was supported by federal funding. And now we are looking for grants, businesses. We're looking to our bank then, and private funding. And it's looking very good. There again is a lot of support for this project to grow food that is the healthiest, the most nutritious, and provide access to those in our community who are experiencing food insecurity.
It's an amazing place. I've had the good fortune to be able to take a tour of the patch and see all that is there and all that is to come. And Ellie, I have to tell you, I'm blown away. It's amazing what you've been able to do there. Amazing group of volunteers and staff, farmers. And I have no doubt you're going to reach your goal, and it's going to be for the benefit of our entire community. Amazing.
Michael, it means so much to hear you say that. Thank you.
Congratulations to you, and we hope to catch up with you soon again with more news. So, Farming Falmouth's Ellie Costa, thank you for joining us on Falmouth in Focus.
Thank you very much for having me, and we'll see you at the patch.
Okay, see you at the patch.
We'll be there.
See you at the patch.
So I'm glad to hear about this patch. It's exciting.
It is amazing, as I was just telling Ellie, you know, going there, it just exceeded my expectations. So excited we're going to get this for Falmouth.
Get us some fresh produce, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, love it.
When Falmouth in Focus returns, standing up for science in Woods Hole, and still ahead, see you later. A local aquatic resident gets ready for a cross-country move.
If your neighbor's house caught fire, would you call 911? Of course you would. People here watch out for their neighbors. If you'd like to help your neighbors, volunteer for us. We're the 911 for consumer problems. Hi, I'm Bruce Blackwell, Executive Director of the Consumer Assistance Council. We are the Attorney General's local consumer watchdog agency. We help anyone who's having a problem with a business. Whether it's a car repair, a contractor, a cell phone bill, we fight for you. We'll try to get your money back or your service restored. We're not lawyers, we're just a fun group of regular citizens like you who want to give back to their communities. And we really need your help. All we ask is just 3 hours one morning or afternoon per week. We'll provide all the training you could possibly need. If you want to help your community, call me at 508-771-0700. That's 508-771-0700. You can make a difference.
Recently, hundreds of people gathered in Woods Hole for the Stand Up for Science rally, a response to federal funding cuts that threaten scientific research and diversity initiatives. With Woods Hole being home to several renowned scientific institutions, these cuts have a direct impact on the Falmouth community and beyond.
Last month, over 400 people gathered in Woods Hole for the Stand Up for Science rally, responding to recent federal funding cuts threatening scientific research and diversity initiatives. Woods Hole, known for its prominent scientific institutions, has felt the impact of these cuts firsthand. We spoke with U.S. Representative Bill Keating, who expressed his concerns about how these cuts could affect the Falmouth community and beyond.
This politicizing of science is getting things backwards. Science, and I'll repeat this, I hope, here, science is the pursuit of facts and the truth. It's apolitical.
In Woods Hole right here, we're first responders. When there's a disaster environmentally, like the BP oil spill, who do they call on for the first responders? Right here in Woods Hole, coming to the task, and it's the people that are here that are responsible for the cleanup and protection of our environment, the people. And those people right now that work here, we're standing up for them today.
Science isn't wasteful. Science is efficient. Correct. Science brings us on the right roads so that when we're investing money, we're not wasting money. And science mitigates things. If we deal with climate change, it costs so much more to clean up, if you ever can, some of the pollution that's there otherwise, than doing it in the first place. It saves money. It's efficient. Science isn't a divider. Science is a unifier.
Organizations like the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution, the Northeast Fisheries Science Center, and the Woods Hole Climate Research Center face significant challenges due to these recent federal budget cuts.
I'm grateful to be able to say a few words on behalf of the Woods Hole Climate Research Center. Clearly, these are challenging days for science right now, particularly for climate science. While some of the battles may be lost, I'm absolutely convinced that in the end, the cause of science and of truth will prevail. The Woods Hole scientific community, and indeed the Woods Hole community as a whole, can and will and must play a pivotal role in achieving that outcome. We have work to do. Let's go.
This place is kind of a microcosm of what science could be and do for our whole society. Our largest science institution here in Woods Hole single-handedly employs over 1,000 people. Add the hundreds more at the other science institutions down here, both government and nonprofit. Our scientists volunteer their time, their expertise, their skills, and their knowledge on a regular basis on town committees and in our town government to help us address issues like coastal resilience, to help us address issues like water quality, not to mention housing, accessibility, and inclusivity in our community.
When we talk about the scientific achievements of Woods Hole, we're not just talking about them. We're talking about the electricians and the plumbers, the carpenters, the machinists, the people who work in financial services, housing and dining, facilities, security, information technology. When we stand up for science, we stand up for the entire community of Woods Hole.
So Eileen, those cuts that we just talked about, of course, we don't know exactly how much those cuts are going to be and who's going to be effective, but it's going to, go into the community just deeper than the scientific institutions. People who work for those communities, the money that's spent in our local businesses. So the effects of it could really be very far-reaching and could be really detrimental to our own local economy.
Yeah, a deep local hit, right?
Yes.
But also the research is cut. So who is going to pick that up?
Right.
There isn't anybody going to pick up the research on all the areas that all these organizations do. It's frightening time.
Yeah, it's an anxious time right now for the community. We have our fingers crossed that there's going to be some good news that comes from that front. No Place for Hate. Falmouth recently hosted a community resource and volunteer fair at St. Barnabas Church Community Hall. The event brought together over 50 organizations dedicated to serving the community, from social services and health organizations to environmental and civic engagement groups.
Good afternoon. I am the Reverend Nell Fields, the minister of the Wacoit Congregational Church. We are here today at St. Barnabas Church. We have a community and volunteer fair. Nearly 40 organizations in town that do so much to help people, help the environment. We even had the companion animal dogs who are here. This was all organized by No Place for Hate Falmouth. I'm on the steering committee, and when we put this together, we didn't really know what to expect, but the hall has been filled. There's been singing, we have popcorn, we have water, and the most important thing is we have a good vibe.
Hi, my name is Pamela Rothstein. Hi, Catherine Jansen. We're here at the Community Activism Fair hosted by No Place for Hate on this wonderful spring Saturday, which has the goal of activating us, getting people to volunteer, getting us to have a voice and play a role in our community. I've always personally been a believer that we have our greatest impact locally, and this group is really designed to enable people to be active, to help them be better aware of how things work here, how to take action, how to have a voice.
It's very important that people are able to easily learn what's going on in town.
We're all members of the Juneteenth Community Celebration Committee, and my husband, Charles Evans, is the chairperson for the committee. We came together as volunteers last year to raise awareness about the holiday Juneteenth, the significance of the holiday, and the historical background, why the holiday came to being. And we really wanted it to be a celebration. As of last year, for the first time, we had a huge celebration here at St. Barnabas Church, and it turned out from 50 people who we expected, to 150 people.
I think at times in our political climate, we get scared, we get fearful, we get stuck. And one way to get over that is to get over ourselves and to volunteer and to help people.
One more time with the refrain. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing.
You can learn more about No Place for Hate at npfhfalmouth.org.
The Cahoon Museum of American Art has officially opened for the season, welcoming visitors with a new lineup of exhibitions and programs celebrating regional and contemporary art. We stopped by to learn more.
Hi, my name is Leanne Ream. I'm the curator here at the Cahoon Museum of American Art, and we've just opened for our 2025 season. We are open Wednesday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., and we have a lot of new exhibitions that are open right now and ready for you to come see them. First, we have Still Life Stories, Beauty, Bounty, and Reflection. It contains a lot of historic examples of still life as well as contemporary examples from beloved regional artists, so beautiful fruit, flowers, and other still life objects for you to enjoy. We also have a lovely exhibition called John Enneking, American Impressionist, and this is a celebration of the historically Boston-based Impressionist John Enneking, and explores a bit of his life working throughout the East Coast, as well as all throughout Europe with the great Impressionists such as Claude Monet. We also have some stories focusing on both Ralph and Martha Cahoon, celebrated Cape Cod folk artists. Those include Sailor's Valentines, Maritime Art from the Heart, Martha Cahoon, A Garden of Inspiration, and our permanent installation, the Cahoon Studio.
We're back with more Falmouth in Focus in just a moment, including an award ceremony for the top chefs of our town.
Hi, I'm Charlotte Green, and this is Helen DeMello.
We're on the board of the Woods Hole Theatre Company. We recently celebrated our 50th anniversary. We're a small theatre company that does about 3 to 4 shows per year.
We do all kinds of shows, traditional, well-known works, our popular Tales and Anecdotes storytelling series, and original work by local playwrights. Last year, we even had a psychic with an improv troupe. There's sure to be something for everybody, and we are really excited for the 2025 season. In the next few months, we'll be putting on Dinner and Tales, featuring stories from local tellers. We're still looking for tellers, so please reach out to us if you have a story.
Come check us out and see our upcoming productions at woodsholetheater.org. We are always looking for volunteers. You can tell us what you're interested in, or if you have no idea, we can find a spot for you. You can also follow us on Facebook to see what we're up to, and keep an eye out for our upcoming auditions for our Carol Burnett skits this fall.
So, we hope to see you when the curtain comes up, either on stage, lending a helping hand with tickets, backstage, in the booth, or in the audience, clapping with enjoyment.
See you soon.
The Woods Hole Aquarium is closing. But don't panic, it's not forever. Aquarium managers say they need to get some infrastructure repaired, and you'll still have all summer to go visit before it starts. But one of the aquarium's best-known residents is departing early. FCTV stopped by to learn more.
Call out. You're okay. Bubba is our harbor seal. He has been living with us for 3 years now. He came to us in the spring, summer of 2022 after living at the Roger Williams Park Zoo in Rhode Island for 22 years.
He is an older seal. He'll actually be turning 25 and celebrating his birthday on April 30th. So as an older seal, he's kind of matured out of playing. There's a lot of eating, a lot of sleeping, and a lot of swimming. Those are kind of his 3 main interests in life.
Okay. Our aquarium building is quite old and it needs some much needed repairs, and in order to do those repairs it's going to require a lot of sound and vibration, and that's not ideal for an animal living in human care.
We have some structural foundation repair that has to happen in our basement, and unfortunately our basement is where all of our life support equipment is, so everything that makes the aquarium move and live and be a healthy place for animals has to come out.
So Bubba is going to be rehomed to another facility in Indiana. This rehoming is going to be really great for him. He's going to have an excellent care staff taking care of him, and a wonderful pool that he'll be living in, and some new tank mates that he'll have all throughout the day to keep his mind enriched. As far as the animals on the inside, they also will be having a little bit of a change in their lives, but it's all for the best. That is Gilbert. He is my personal favorite fish in the aquarium. He is a snowy grouper. He has been here for a decade, maybe?
At least.
Yeah. We're really lucky that we're situated right on the harbor, so a lot of the fish that you see walking through our gallery are fish that we have caught ourselves right off the dock here. We also work really closely with the other biologists that work for NOAA. When they go out to sea for surveys, they keep an eye out for really cool fish for us, and if they can get them to shore, then we go and pick them up and bring them here.
This is Stumpy, our diamondback terrapin. He is about 20 years old. He's been at the aquarium for over a decade now, I believe, and he is probably our second most popular animal here, a definite visitor favorite. Stumpy will be staying in our care, so he will not be living in this building. We will be moving him most likely across the street and caring for him. He is a non-releasable animal, much like Bubba, our harbor seal. This means an animal would not be able to survive in the wild, and that's why they're here with us.
Bubba is the love of my life. It has been the absolute privilege of my life to be able to be his trainer. I have a lot of hard feelings about not being his trainer anymore, but his move is what's best for him, and he is going to have the best life in Indiana, so I'm excited for him. Good job. You're so brave.
So as mentioned, the aquarium is open all summer, and then the repair work starts in the fall. But if you want a last look at Bubba, you need to get over to the aquarium by about mid-April at the latest. That truck for Indiana will be leaving soon, and then bye-bye Bubba.
Bye-bye Bubba.
Yeah.
The Falmouth Public Schools recently hosted the 47th annual Pre-K to 12 STEAM Fair. STEAM, as you may know, stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Mathematics, and all of that was on display. Volunteer judges from prestigious scientific institutions evaluated student work, with top projects earning awards and over $10,000 in prizes and scholarships. Here's a closer look.
Welcome to the 47th annual Falmouth Public Schools STEAM Fair. As you can see around us, we have community partners, we have kids of all ages from pre-K up through 12, we have robotics streaming competitions in the back, we have giant whales for you to explore, we have all kinds of crazy things having to do with science, technology, engineering, art, and math.
Our project was on E. coli and how well they work against household cleaning products.
So my project is all about plasma. So what is plasma and why is it important? Plasma is a state of matter where all the atoms and particles within it are stripped of their electrons, so these electrons can form a sea of free-flowing electrons. This is a state that's very similar to the way metals work, which makes this state of matter highly conductive, which is why it's so important in a bunch of different research.
I did a project on can people recognize AI-generated images over real images.
We're so excited to welcome our community, our families, our students, alongside our faculty and staff as we celebrate our students' curiosity and creativity here at the 47th Annual STEAM Fair. Our clippers are super curious. They've been playing in a number of different displays, and they walked through a whale and they sat in a cardboard living room this morning. So super excited and super thankful, and we really appreciate your support.
Thanks to Ryan Weber for that report.
Earlier this year, several local chefs were inducted into the prestigious Global Culinary Society known as Les Amis des Escoffiers. It's an honor that celebrates kitchen talent in the great French tradition. And what better way to celebrate these local legends than with a multi-course gourmet dinner? Here's a closer look.
George Escoffier was probably considered the first celebrity chef. Any chef today will know who he is. If you go to any culinary school in the world, you learn the foundations, which all has to do with his findings and his creativity.
Les Amis d'Escoffier is one of the two largest wine and food organizations in the world. It was designed to honor the legacy of Auguste Escoffier, who was the king of chefs and the chef of kings.
It's recognition, really, you know, into a club of people and restaurateurs and chefs that truly care for the craft of cooking and the fine dining and in food.
This, I understand, is the first time we've been on Cape Cod in the history of Les Amis d'Escoffier. So let's give the hotel and the chef a big round of applause. David has a BS in food service management in 1982. His first job was the Silver Lounge in North Falmouth. He's an associate instructor, 37 years. Please come forward.
Well, it's pretty emotional, to be honest with you. And the greatest thing is that it's full circle for me. I worked here at the Coonamessett Inn. I was a young kid getting into the industry in the late 70s, early 80s, so it gave me a good lift.
To be in front of this crowd and, you know, mentors and, you know, peers and retirees that I'd never thought I'd be rubbing elbows with, you know, it's amazing.
So this is like, for me, it's the highlight. It's great. Yeah, it's the pinnacle. It's the pinnacle for me to be inducted into this society. Something I never dreamed of, I'm sorry. Did you?
No, I mean, I came up, the chef that's helping me here tonight, he talked about it all the time. You know, he talks about the Escoffier dinner he did in 1991, 94, all the time. You know, I never stopped hearing about it and still don't.
Our local Escoffier inductees are going to be on the next edition of Falmouth is Cooking with Gail Blakeling. So check fctv.org/watch for schedules.
Well, the way you, expressed yourself and your pronunciation, you must really be into French food.
Oh, I love French food. Yes, I love eating, period.
Wonderful.
But French food is one of the best.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing, and I wish we had been at that dinner, huh?
Could have a little taste, yeah.
Yum. All right. Well, that's going to wrap up our show for the moment. I'm Michael Kasparian.
And I'm Eileen Preston.
Until next time,
we'll see you around town.